All right, welcome everybody. Hopefully everybody can hear me clearly. My name is Dr. Tony Smith. I'm a doctor of chiropractic. I have a practice within a multidiscipline facility with orthopedic surgeons, pain management, podiatry, general physicians. And I've been in practice a long time, 30 years now. And really excited to come to you and share with you a innovative technology that's made a huge impact with a lot of people. And I'm super excited to be able to share this with everybody because it's made a great impact within my practice as well. And it's one of those things that kind of reflecting back, like, do you remember the days when you used to be able to spring out of bed and not have the aches and pains, have a little pep in your step, not hear the creaking and cracking or all the things, the soreness and you remember bouncing back like from falls and workouts and things like that, just bouncing back the next day, like when you were younger and not having so many aches and pains. And do you remember the days looking into the mirror and being able to recognize who the person is looking back at you, without the loss of hair and and all the wrinkles? Well, those are some of the things that we're going to talk about, a technology that can actually start to reactivate some of those things that the aging process has done to us, and kind of hopefully reverse some of the effects of aging and the revolutions around the sun now. So what I'm talking about is an innovative technology called the X39, and it's basically harnessing light energy through a patch that creates a activation of our own body stem cells and something they call copper peptides. And that's significant because every cell in our body or every tissue, organ, structure in our body starts as a stem cell. There's nothing in our body, whether it goes from our blood, bones, ligaments, tendons, organs, or anything, that didn't start as a stem cell. But what happens over time is that stem cell production starts to diminish dramatically as we start to age. And so how do we wake that system up? How do we start to reinvigorate ourselves with this patch called the X39? And so we're talking about something that elevates, activates, and regenerates, and something like they say that is safe, effective, affordable, and non-invasive. And some of these procedures, people, you hear about people going out of the country to try to activate, some of these regenerative properties in our body, but we have something, like I said, that is non-invasive, effective, and affordable that everybody can utilize and share with other people. So really excited to see what we have our hands on. The brainchild of this particular product or device, I like to call it, is actually literally a device to me, because we're not absorbing anything, we're not taking anything. It's using light energy, which is all around us, our own body's infrared light and transient light, but it's using that type of energy and harnessing it to do something within our own body. And so, like I said, the CEO inventor of this is David Schmidt. He's has over 130, actually even more than that now. He's a scientist and inventor. He specializes in age reversal. He's looking for ways to turn back the clock on the aging process and so we can live a healthier, longer lifespan. And so he started devoting his studies and things in the early 2000s on stem cell research. And, that's a really big buzzword around the health and wellness community, and regenerative medicine. And how can we actually activate those things? And how do we get those up and going and be so effective? And so it took him over 10 years to actually bring this to market and to patent this technology. And basically what it is, it's a little patch that you actually wear within the body, but it's been clinically proven to activate that dormant system as we start to age of stem cells. Like I said, stem cells are very important because nothing is generated without them. And so another significant part of the patent is that it also activates something called copper peptides. Now, copper peptides are not new. They've been researched since the 70s. So we're talking 50 years of research now and development, and people have been utilizing for many years. But this is one of the first way that actually has been activated by a non-invasive way of light energy. capturing that light energy to activate this, because a lot of people actually had to inject it or consume it or transdermal absorption through the skin. And we have a way to non-invasively activate those within our own body's resources, something they call endogenous, not exogenous. And the best way to activate and for the body to utilize something in your body is when it actually creates it itself, because it doesn't have to try to absorb it and assimilate it and break it down and make effective use out of it. And so when our own body produces it, it knows how to use it more effectively, and it's, it makes a bigger impact. And so the patent on this, like I said, has been now released for a couple of years, but it's just catching the traction, because when it was released was actually all those COVID years when we couldn't interact with people, we couldn't get the word out, we couldn't meet and talk to people hardly. And so now people are starting to experience and share it with other people, and it's grabbing a lot of traction. And people are looking for ways to look better, feel better, and get back to that youthful feeling that they used to have when they had a little spring in their step. And so X39 has been instrumental in doing that. And like I kind of touched on earlier, is that we don't really realize that, and nobody's ever told us that as we start to age, our stem cell activation and activity slows down dramatically, even by the age of 30, when we feel like we're fairly young. But at age 30 is actually our stem cell production and activation slows down to 50%. You only have 50% that are active. That's when you start to feel a little bit of, the aches and pains coming in. But it's not till later in life where you really start to like, wow, why did I beat myself up so bad when I was younger? If I only knew then what I know now, I would have been a little easier on myself. Well, now I'm here to tell you that there's something that's going to get that youthful step back in, and it's, through the X39, because when we get to age 60, there's only 10% of active stem cell going on in our body. So how do we awaken that dormant system that's, slowly diminishing? And we can literally feel it, and we can see it in the mirror. Like I talked about earlier, we start to see those wrinkles starting to appear. We start to see the hair getting a little thinner. We start to feel those aches and pains and creaks and cracks and maybe it's just me when I get out of bed. I'm not stealthy anymore. I can't get out of bed without waking everybody up, because my knees and ankles and everything, start to pop and crack from all the, being in sports and an athlete for many years since I was a young toddler. But anyway, those things start to catch up with us. But now we can turn the clock back by utilizing the X39. And how does the X39 work? And you're like, because a lot of people, I try to explain it to them of how it actually captures that light energy. Basically, the patch catches transient light and also our own body's infrared light. So our body puts off an infrared light. And think about, like, when police are looking through night vision goggles, they can actually see us at night because they are looking for that infrared light. So our body puts off a light wavelength that we cannot actually see, but it's there if you have the right technology. And so what happens is that this particular X39 patch actually refracts the infrared light off our body, and also the transient light, into a certain wavelength that is going to activate the stem cell activation. It's going to activate the increase in copper peptides, and it's also going to increase cellular activity, mitochondrial activity. And mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cells. That's what helps regenerate cells at a faster rate. So when we start to activate those things, our body starts to regenerate at a faster rate, and that's significant. And so that's a significant fact in regenerative medicine and regenerative wellness, is when we start to activate wake those cells up again. But understand that most people are familiar with something, if they put a patch on, that it's a transdermal patch. It's transferring chemicals from the patch into the skin, and your body absorb it. This patch is not transferring any chemicals. There's no chemicals in the patch that's creating an absorption or anything. It's all based off light energy, and it's a very easy concept that we accept on a daily basis that most people don't even think about, but we all know that it happens. So think about the fact when we go into the sun, everybody knows that when the sun hits us, our body converts that sunlight, that light energy, into vitamin D, right? That's a given fact that we can't change and alter it. That's what our body does. Also, there's another thing that happens when we're in the sun. We start to see the skin start to change color, a darker pigmentation. That's our body producing melanin. Melanin protects us from ultraviolet rays, so we don't get to damage the skin. But that's a photochemical reaction that happens that we cannot control. It just happens through a wavelength. The body's capturing a wavelength and transferring it to activate the melanin and, like I said, the vitamin D. So those are photochemical reactions that are happening off certain wavelengths that are captured and refracted. So basically, David Schmidt found the right wavelength that actually is that he can refract that light to activate the stem cell activation and the copper peptides. And why copper peptides are so significant is because they have a lot of health benefits. And some of the major factors that it does is it reduces inflammation in our body. Now, we all know pretty much the whole society suffers from some form of inflammation. If you've ever heard of anything that ends in an itis, that is an inflammatory condition. Bursitis, arthritis, diverticulitis, prostatitis, all the itis is in there. That is an inflammatory condition. And inflammation is the initial stage of disease process. That's what starts the disease process when your body becomes overrun with inflammation. So it can deteriorate our health and wellness very quickly. So if we can help control inflammation, that's significant in our overall well-being of our body. The other thing that it does is it increases collagen. Now, collagen is what the integral structure of our ligaments, tendon, and bone, and that's the foundation of everything, and that's what holds our skin together and keeps it tight. So as we start to age, I talked about earlier, we start to see wrinkles and things happening. That's because our collagen, the integral underneath structure of our skin, is diminishing, and for some of us it diminishes faster than others. So the thing is that we can increase collagen production in the skin. Not only do we tighten the skin up, but we strengthen our ligament, tendon, and bone. And we talk about, as we start to age, you start to osteopenia and osteoporosis. Those are things that happen as we age. But if we can increase the collagen production, we can kind of cut that off and start to reverse some of those aging ailments that happen. So implementing this at an early stages can make a big difference in our overall musculoskeletal system. And then also some of the benefits of the copper peptides is that it creates reinnervation, meaning it increases new nerve conduction and nerve flow to injured areas. So when we were young, when we used to fall and scrape ourselves up, our body would heal exceptionally fast because we had a high abundance of copper peptides and stem cells in our body, and it would heal faster because we had reinnervation, new nerve flow to the area. We also had revascularization, meaning it increases blood flow to the area to bring vital nutrients for healing properties. And so that's one of the things that copper peptides do as well, is it creates revascularization to injured areas and to damaged areas, which could be significant in diabetic diabetic patients and things like that, because they are lacking blood supply to certain areas, especially the extremities, which is your hands and feet. And we commonly hear about diabetics who have poor blood flow and end up with diabetic ulcers, and then end up with amputations and different things because they don't have the proper blood flow. So this could potentially be instrumental in helping somebody with that if we can wake up that system again. Also, one of the huge things about copper peptides is that actually neutralizes what they call fibrinogen. Fibrinogen is a major clotting factor that can lead to coronary artery disease and clots and things like that. So if we can neutralize the fibrinogen production in our bloodstream, we can minimize the effects of clots, potentially minimize the effects of clotting factors as we start to age and our blood thickens up. And so it could be significant in cardiovascular issues that we are inflicted with as we start to age. Okay, my mouse just froze for a second. Okay, sorry, let me go back. So the benefits of the X39 is we talk about increased strength. Well, when we start to, as we start to age, we have something called sarcopenia that starts to happen, meaning that our body breaks down muscle faster than it can build it. So we start to become, our muscles start to atrophy. But if we start to increase the collagen factor and the regenerative properties in our body, we can actually hold on to strength and increase muscle strength and power and things like that. Also, I already talked about reduced inflammation. Inflammation is significant in our body's health and well-being and our organ function. Inflammation can definitely affect organ function and its ability on our overall healthiness, and increased stamina. When you're increasing muscle strength and health and wellness, cardiovascular, you have increased stamina. And then we talk about energy and vitality. One of the major things that it also does is it increases glutathione production. The X39 helps increase glutathione production, so it helps detoxify the body. When you start to detoxify, you can raise those energy levels. And so, if we can strengthen our immune system, that's significant. We can fight off things a little bit more effectively, and we have overall health and well-being. We have energy and vitality, and we can bounce back from things. We have the stronger immune system is essential, especially, some of the things that we went through in the last 4 or 5 years. Having a stronger immune system would be very instrumental in our overall health and well-being. And then we talk about mental clarity, some of the benefits of mental clarity. And that basically comes down to, one, reducing inflammation in the brain, because the inflammation can affect the transmission of nerve fibers and nerve conduction through the synapses there. And so if we can reduce inflammation, we have better focus, better cognition, better clarity. So that's significant, because there's not a lot of things that can actually cross the blood-brain barrier and make some, have some of those benefits. And I already talked about restored muscle strength and increasing collagen, improved sleep. Now, one of the things that people think, oh, well, if it gives me more energy, how can it give me more sleep? It actually gives you a more restful sleep, helps the body just get into that deep sleep mode. And so that enhances our body's ability to recover, which is significant. We need that recovery time, that period. And that with the detoxification and better proper sleep, improvement in sleep, then our body can be healthier. And I talked about how the collagen production with the increase of copper peptides and new healthier tissue improves skin appearance. And there's multiple testimonies that people have posted about tightening their skin. You can see the before and afters, the skin tightening up, the strength, around the neck, around the eyes. And so significant improvement, we've seen people sharing with that. And here's a topography map. I love this fact, because this is something that's clinical. It's what we call objective findings. We can talk about subjective, people meaning having, they feel better and things like that, but nothing that's measurable, that you can literally see in front of your own eyes now. But this is a topography map that's actually looking for inflammation. And so this is a 77-year-old woman who in session 1, she had never used the X39, and this is of her brain. And so understand, I talked about earlier, at age 30, we're at 50% production of stem cell activity and copper peptide production. By age 60, we're at 10%. Now, this woman is 77, so she may have a few active cells left, that are effectively working to reduce inflammation in her body, but she can't keep up with it. So how does she, how do we help her assist in keeping up with the inflammation that's accumulating in her body and all the aches and pains that are coming on? Well, somebody introduced her to the X39. This is in a test study, so I imagine it was David Schmidt introduced her to X39. And you can see the redness on the session 1 before she actually had the test, is that's a lot of inflammation in the brain. Okay. And then we go to session 2, which is 3 weeks later on the X39, minimal redness. That means there's significant reduction in inflammation that are going on. Now, if she has inflammation on the brain, do you think she has it throughout her body? Probably so. It doesn't just locate in one area. It's inflammation is systemic. So the meaning that this is going on in her brain, is going on throughout her body. But look in just session 2 at 3 weeks in, a significant reduction in inflammation. And she started to notice better cognition, better focus and clarity with this. And then in session 3, 6 weeks on the X39, a complete reversal of inflammation. There's healthier oxygenated tissue, no inflammation, better brain cognition. So significant change. And like I said, if this is going on in her brain, it's going on in her body. But this is not just limited to her. Just think about the rest of us. The rest of us are suffering from that inflammatory. This is just something that's being monitored, that we call that objective finding. But if we started to actually have these tests on ourselves, we would probably see significant changes or significant inflammation in our body and changes over the period of time of utilizing the X39. And I've seen multiple people have had multiple people that have had those type of benefits of utilizing the X39. So here's some more clinical studies. On the X39, in the first few days, it actually resets 4,000 genes to a younger, healthier state. Now, that's significant because a few years back, you think about resveratrol gained national notoriety for for its benefits, its health benefits. Understand resveratrol resets two genes in our body, and it got national notoriety. Everybody was talking about resveratrol, how beneficial resveratrol. And resveratrol is something that you get in red wine. So think about how much red wine you're going to have to drink to get 4,000 genes to reset when resveratrol does too, right? That's significant. So we can lessen your wine bill. You'd have to drink crates of wine to be able to get reset this many genes, but we are significantly have to, probably put a stress on your liver too. But anyway, but to reset 4,000, that's a third of our gene. That's significant improvement in youth and vitality by resetting the 4,000 genes. So that can make a significant impact in the first few days. And then within 6 weeks, the brain becomes more balanced. And I kind of touched on it already. The brain is becoming more balanced because there's inflammation is being reduced, and better reinnervation, better nerve transmission and conduction through those vital synapses, in the brain, because the brain is basically a big nerve bundle. So when we start to have better conduction and connection in the brain through reduced inflammation, that significant improvements start to happen. And then within 3 months, I talked about our collagen production starts to increase. Now, this is kind of a training point, if you will, because most people put the X39 on and they want to, we live in a microwave society. They want to have, results overnight. Let's be realistic. A lot of us have abused our bodies for 30, 40, 50, and even more years, and we're not going to get better overnight. It's just not going to happen. But understand how the body works. When your body is laying down new, healthier tissue, give it a chance. Give it a chance to lay down to start to produce that collagen. We're talking about here in 3 months starting to produce that collagen production, to start to strengthen the ligament, tendons, and bones, start to tighten the skin. Things are happening over a period of time. Typically what happens is that if you wear the patch long enough, you're going to have benefits. A lot of people give up too soon. If they don't have a response within 3 days, they think, oh, it doesn't work. No, there's things going on in your body that are significantly improving your overall health and wellness, and can actually be increasing your lifespan, not just days, weeks, but not just days, weeks, or months. It could be actually years, adding years to your lifespan by utilizing and reactivating stem cells in your body and increasing collagen production, and also the glutathione. It's going to neutralize those free radicals and toxins that tear our body down. And then again, within 6 months, our heart, our cardiovascular system begins to improve significantly. I've seen multiple cases where cholesterol levels drop, blood pressure levels are dropping, and people were wearing, the X39 on their knee because they had a bad knee problem, or on their hip or on their shoulder. But lo and behold, they start to see their blood pressure, their cholesterol. I've seen cases where kidney function improve, liver function improve significantly. Because again, I'm going to touch on the liver, because you increase glutathione levels in the body. Glutathione helps cleanse the liver. So if we can detoxify the liver, we start to see improvement in our overall health and well-being. So what I really love about the X39 is just not one area specific. It works systemically. It kind of goes to where it activates those stem cells for the weakest link in our body. So a lot of times, like I said, people will think that they put it on and they put it on their knee to try to help their knee, but maybe there's something else going on in their body they don't really know about, that it's already starting to make an impact with, things that, there's silent killers, cardiovascular, coronary artery disease. If we can help minimize the clotting issues and things that are going on, we can make a big impact in somebody's lifespan. And so give it a chance. Let the X39 do its work. Give it some time. And we talk about, for every decade you've been alive, you should at least give it 1 month for every decade you've been around, to give it an honest opportunity to do something and make an impact in your body. But we can see over a period of time that it's gonna do something in the body. And David Schmidt said 98% of the people who wear the patch receive or will see a benefit if they just wear it long enough. And how do you wear the patch? The company says you should wear the patch 12 hours on, 12 hours off. If you happen to wear it 13 or 14 hours, you're not going to overdose. It's not going to do anything toxic to it. Sometimes I forget and leave mine on, but I just tell people, wear the patch during the day, Put it on in the morning when you get up to brush your teeth. I put it on my sink. Take it off at night when you go to bed, when you brush your teeth, when you go to bed. So if you go a little bit longer, that's fine, but make sure you take it off for a period of time so that the body can actually kind of reset itself. Because if what happens, there's a process that happens if you wear it too long, your body gets used to that signaling, and it's not as effective. So you need to break that cycle for a period of time, and it'll be more effective. You'll get better benefits if you actually kind of break that cycle for a period of time. But like I said, if you wear it during the day, take it off at night, and you'll be just fine. Throw the patch away. Once you take it off, throw it away. And then the next day, put a new patch on. Okay, so when you're going to get your patches, you're going to get 30 patches. So you wear one a day. You wear it during the day, take it off at night. You can actually wear more patches than one. I'm an avid cyclist. I on my race days or big training days, I actually wear 2 patches. I'll put 2 patches on, just a little boost. If I can get a little edge up on the competition, then so be it. So, but anyway, the company says that, when they did their test studies, you put it behind the neck or underneath the belly button, but you can literally wear the patch anywhere. If I have patients that if they're having a bad shoulder, they have a shoulder issue, I've helped people with rotator cuff tendonitis, calcific bursitis, a lot impingement syndrome in the shoulder, and I just put it right on the shoulder. If knee pain, hip pain, trochanteric bursitis, there's one of the itises, I have them just wear it right on the hip. And like, again, it says it works systemically, but it's closer to the area of issue. So I like to put it right on there, and it's just as effective wherever you put it. So again, you can wear it anywhere. I always tell people, because of the body, it actually works as a detoxification in the body, because it's increasing those glutathione levels, and it's detoxing the body as well. We want to hydrate. We want to help those organs flush those toxins out of our body, because if our body is overrun with inflammation, that's going to slow the effectiveness of the new stem cell production, because inflammation can neutralize stem cell production. So, like I said, we live in a very inflammatory area, or in a very inflammatory state of being. And so we need to first reduce inflammation, and then it'll help with that stem cell activation and the benefits that we're going to see in the long term. So that's another point of why we need to wear it longer, because most of us are very toxic and very inflamed. So we need to reduce the inflammation first before we can see the benefits on the backside. So make sure we're drinking plenty of water, wearing the patches consistently, and so we can optimize the benefits that we're going to experience. And the ease of thing, what I really love about the X39 is that people have been so open to trying it, because I've been in health and wellness for many years now. I've shared a lot of different supplements and things, and to get somebody to try a supplement, like, oh, here, try this. They're like, I don't know if I want to really swallow this or do this. I don't know. But people are so open to wearing the little patch, on the back of the neck or on their shoulder, or on their knee, or on their hip. There's minimal resistance. There's no resistance. Basically, I just share the point that it's not a transdermal patch. We're not transferring any chemicals. There's not going to be any contraindication to medications or anything like that. So people are very open to using it and trying it, and experiencing the benefits that go along with it. And so that's what I love, is that I've actually been able to help a lot of people who were probably resistant in other situations, but are open to trying this. On the business side, which what we're going to talk about, is that opens a door for everybody else to be able to share it, because you don't necessarily have to be a doctor to share it with other people and to access this type of technology, which is instrumental in helping everybody win and change their financial outlook on things. And so this is it. Info.com is actually the one-page landing spot for our team. This is awesome, because again, like I just talked about, is that you don't have to be a doctor to know everything. I go in a little bit more depth because I understand the technology. I appreciate the technology, and I hope I can generalize it enough to it's understandable without getting too scientific. But the thing is that this particular page allows you not to be the expert, but to refer people to this so that they can do their own research. They can look and see the videos and the research studies and they can dig until their heart's content. This is actually the page that I went to when I was investigating the technology, the company, and what this X39 was about, because it had a lot of the research studies that I wanted to see that would influence my my decision. And so again, it's an area where we don't have to be the expert, and that's going to be beneficial on the business side because it allows us to duplicate at a faster rate, and duplication is going to be important when we start to reach out and share this with everybody else. And then, so that you know kind of the background of the company. This is not a brand new company. This company has been here over 20 years. We're in our 20-year anniversary. It's had it had growth in the earlier stages, but it wasn't until Steve and Gina Merritt came into the company and actually showed the way how to market something like this and bring it to. I mean, I'll be honest. There in previous to Steve and Gina coming into the team, it was marketed by basically physicians. And I'll tell you, we're not the best marketers. We don't know how to reach the masses. We share with our patients. You know, we get a little too scientific. We overcomplicate things. But when Steve and Gina came into the team, into the company, or created the team and joined the company, they started showing people how to get out and touch and bless the masses. And since they entered about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago now, the company has had significant growth. I mean, it went from just over 20 million, I think they came in 2001 or 2002. I'm sorry. Went from 320 million to over 430 million in the last year, and now we're open in over 80 countries. So what's really exciting about this is that you can actually, when we show you how to build a business from this, and position yourself around the company, is that we can actually show you how to build an international business. Now, who can actually do that, you know, in this day and age, build an international business from the comfort of your own home? That's significant when we have something that people need, and this is the only place they can get it. That was one thing I didn't touch on earlier, is that there's no other technology, there's no other company in this out there that has this type of technology. So we have the monopoly on this technology, and we are ahead of the curve of the regenerative medicine and wellness, or regenerative wellness market, with what we're bringing to the table here. And one of the huge things that I really love about it is not a Me Too product, meaning, you know, because I was in health and wellness and supplements and different things, we were always trying to convince people why ours absorbed better, why ours was better, stronger than somebody else's. But there was just, you know, it was a competition, and they go down to Walmart and find something with the same name on it, and they think it's the same quality. Well, it probably isn't, but maybe it is. But, you know, we're always convincing people that ours was better. There's no other company out there with the X39 or anything like it, or the technology. So we're not having to go through that convincing game. We own the market. We monopolize the market. It's just introducing and sharing the technology that's ahead of the curve. Like, people have never seen this. This type of technology. So I'm excited that we are the ones bringing it to market and sharing it. And just because of Steve and Gina joining, you know, creating the This Is It team, and creating the ability to get out and share it with the masses, and the quality of the product, how it's impacting people, you know, it's changing people's lives. That we have become, LifeWave has become the fastest growing #1 momentum company in all of relationship marketing, or affiliate marketing, or network marketing, or multi-level marketing, whatever you want to call it. But we are the #1 in the momentum ranks. And you don't do that when you don't have a quality product, something that's impacting people, and something that's easy to share and has been simplified. And that's what the system, we're going to talk about the system that Steve and Gina have brought to the table. And so this is a little graph that shows the growth of the company, LifeWave sales in 2023. That's in the green line, and you can see, you know, significant growth. And obviously that was the #1 momentum, you know, the #1 momentum company in all of marketing. But the blue line shows how fast the This Is It team is growing. So the This Is It team is growing faster than the actual growth of the company, which means if LifeWave is the fastest growing company in all of marketing, and This Is It team is growing faster than that could potentially mean that the This Is It team is the fastest growing team in all of marketing, and all of network marketing. And that's significant. And that comes down to creating a duplicatable system that people can follow and having a product that makes an impact. And so those are, when you're looking at the, at the company itself from an outside vision, you want something that's impacting people, but you also want something that's easy duplicatable that nobody else has. That's a key component. Nobody else has, so there's no competition in the marketplace. Just recently, and the DSN awarded the LifeWave as the #1 growth company because of what we just talked about. We're impacting people and we have a duplicatable system. So when it comes down to when you're looking at, LifeWave, the X39, and what we're talking about here is what's most important to you. Obviously, health. I mean, if we don't have our health, it doesn't matter how much money we have. Our health comes first and foremost, I think. So we've checked that box on how we can actually increase everyone's health and well-being, and increasing a long healthy lifespan. But now that we're going to be healthier and have better wellness, is that what comes next? Is it time freedom? Is it less debt? Is it family time? I mean, the whole thing is being able to spend that quality time, because now we're talking about a vehicle that we can actually start to bring those dreams, goals, and aspirations back into our vision, where, in the last 4 years, going through the COVID, most people were just lucky to survive and get by. They shrunk all those dream goals and aspirations that they wanted to do. They had the dream board up and everything, but it really came down to just making ends meet. Realistic, let's be realistic, that most people just came. I know a lot of people that lost their businesses, had huge businesses and they lost them. And so, where do they turn? Where do we help? How do we help people bridge that gap between their expenses and their income and their bills? And so I think we have an awesome vehicle that's impacting people not only for their health, but we have a vehicle that's bringing income back that we can actually start talking about financial security. We can dictate our own financial success in the future and not have somebody else dictate it for us. So the thing is, you gotta, having a vehicle like this is awesome, and we can share it with so many different people. And it comes down, this is what we talk about, the compensation plan, because the company actually rewards us for going out and sharing this information with everybody else, with other people, sharing them with about the health benefits, but also how we can start to dictate our own economy and our financial success in the years to come, by something that's going to make an impact with people. And so what we do is show people how to introduce 2 people on your right team, 2 people on your left team, which we call this little structure called, it's the manager level. And so when you do that, when you introduce 2 people on your right, 2 people on your left, you become what they call a manager. All we do, this is the foundational building block of this system, is that we show people how to help other people become managers. And this is basically an easy concept. It's like starting your own franchise, because you call the shots. It's you, but it's without the franchise startup fee. And that's significant, because there's a ton of different franchises out there that you can get started with, but you can pay a big exorbitant cost to get it in. And they give you the system and they give you the know-how on how to build your franchise. But your rear end's on the line financially, if by doing that, because you have a big financial outlay. And so the thing is that there's no risk here. You get some product for yourself to be able to share with some other people, and then you introduce and go out, and the company is going to reward you for doing that, for going out and sharing with other people. You help people build this structure of manager. If you do that and start helping people do that, if you take your eyes off yourself, help other people, you can actually make up to $25,000 a week just off creating this structure here. Now, I know that's probably out of everybody's vision, but understand there's already people in the company that have done that, in less than a year's time, or a year and a half time of doing that. And they've helped other people do the same thing. And so it's out there, but let's talk about going back to most people's vision. What if we could help you, earn $1,000 a month, or let's even say $500 a month? That would already start to make a big impact. That would help make a car payment. That would help make, if we start help people make a couple $1,000, $2,000 a month, that could help with a mortgage. and so those little things that we start to check those boxes off, that expenses that we have on a daily basis or a monthly basis, that we can start cutting those out by showing people how to do that, how to bring more finances into their household off this compensation plan. And then the company goes out and has another bonus plan in place called a matching bonuses, that when you help people start to create their franchise and start to build a team, again, when you help others have success, the company is going to reward you for doing that. And so when you get out and you help them build their team, the bigger their team goes, the company is going to reward you financially for doing that. They don't take anything away from the person that you're helping. They just reward you for doing that. So it's kind of like volume sharing or profit sharing for the company. When you help the company generate income by getting out and blessing people for improving their health and wellness with the X39, the company is going to reward you, because they've taken those advertising dollars that typically most other companies, corporations spend, in social media ads, in I don't know, different all types of advertising on TV and different sources, billboards, different things like that. They've taken all those advertising dollars and they give it back to the people that are actually going out and doing the work, meaning that they're going out and blessing other people, and the company rewards for doing that. So this is impactful and significant. It can make a significant change in your financial outlay for multiple years to come. And the whole thing is that it's about helping others, about blessing people. Okay. How do you get started? So how do you become part of the team? Is that you actually go in, there's packs that are available, meaning that you pick a pack, you kind of get in where you fit in, whatever you financially can do to get your business up and started. There's a silver pack that if you want to kind of dip your toe in the water, which we'll get some product for you and your spouse or your loved one, and then a sleeve, another 30-day supply for you to start to share with people. That's just if you just want to get started, you're kind of apprehensive and things. But when you really have a business intent and you see the vision of what we're doing, you really want to get to the gold level. And when you start up at the gold level, that's you get 5 sleeves and $80 worth of other free product available. But that allows you to kind of get your business off and going, but also opens up more pay, meaning that when you start to share people, you're going to actually open up more pay and reimbursement from the company for going out and helping others have success. And then there's if you have a big vision, meaning that you really want to launch your business off the ground, there's a diamond pack, which will get you 19 sleeves. And the more sleeves, the bigger pack you get, the cheaper the price per sleeve is. A sleeve is a month supply, the 30-day sleeve. And so the bigger vision, if you really want to get your business off the ground, is that you get the diamond pack. And I actually, when I got started, that's what I got, because I knew I wanted to launch my business. I wanted to get it up and running. And I didn't want people to have that lag time from when they signed up to get their product. I wanted to, I do what they call a place and replace, meaning that I give some people, once they sign up and get going, I want them wearing the patch right then. So meaning that I want them utilizing the product. So I'll give them a few sleeves, a few months supply, so that they can start wearing it themselves and they can start to share it with other people and not wait the 4 or 5 days for it to come in the mail. Because I want to hit the iron while it's hot. We want to launch people's business. So the diamond pack seemed to work best for me to help me get my business off the ground. And so that works to where you give people a few sleeves because you have enough on hand. And then when they get their product in, they just replace the ones that they give you. And you keep doing this reverse place and replace process, and your business is going to launch out of the gates. You're going to create duplication and massive growth right out of the get-go by doing something like that. So that's where the diamond pack comes into play. But also the diamond pack increases the bonuses when you sign up other diamond pack members. You get a significant increase in bonus from the company. So, but like I said, you get in where you fit in. At least get your spot, because the thing is that everybody, when whoever introduced you or got you, invited you to this Zoom, you should really thank them, because they thought enough of you that they wanted to make an impact in your health and wellness, but they also wanted to help you, bless you financially with what's going on, because they didn't want you to hear from somebody else, a year, 6 months or a year down the road. Then that person might be mad at you for not telling them, sooner. And so the thing is that you get your spot because there's what they call first movers advantage. So people that get lock in their spot today, the people that are going to come in after them, because I showed you, earlier about the structure, we're building two legs. So as your person who invited you is introducing more people, if you lock your spot in now, you're going to get a spot above everyone else that comes in later. But if you wait, they're going to be above you. Meaning, so the thing is, then you have the potential to generate a volume from the people that are coming in after you for years to come, years and decades to come. And you never know who's going to join the team, down the road. There could be something that just knocks it out of the park. And because you locked in your spot now, you could actually benefit from them coming in after you. So it is significant about getting your spot, getting back to the person who invited you to the Zoom, locking in your spot, and then getting set up on a auto ship, what we call a monthly subscription, because let's face it, you can't just wear the patch once and have all these health benefits that are happening. We have to continually wear it. So it has accumulating compounding benefits of when you wear the patch. I talked about all the regenerative processes that are going on. So we definitely want to continue to wear the X39, but also there's compounding benefits as you start to build your team. You start to create expansion or duplication in your team. And that's when it starts to grow in, not just in your city limits, but it grows out of your county, out of your state, and into, other regions. It could be into other countries by that, because you never know who other people know. And somebody may know someone in Australia that they're going to share it with. I've been fortunate. I don't know anybody in Australia, but I have people on my team that have shared it with people in Australia and in Korea and different countries. And I didn't know those people, but they shared it. And now our business is starting to grow in international markets where I didn't know anybody. So that's the chain of reaction that can happen by you locking in your spot and also setting up an auto ship to have those accumulating benefits. And then the other thing is that how, you just talk about how to build a business and how to build a team. You're like, this is all new to me. I have no idea how to do this. This may be too overwhelming. Well, the answers are right here. thisisitteam.com is another landing page where you can go out, and it's the blueprint. It's the playbook on how to build a team. So again, you don't have to be the expert. You just patch and point people to the sources, the resources that are here that have been put together by Steve and Gina Merritt. And you can actually earn while you learn. You're learning, maybe one step ahead of somebody you introduced, but you're learning. And you don't have to be the expert. You just do it and let some of the leadership, let some of the system do the work for you. That's the benefit, is having a system in place that you can create duplication, and you don't have to be it, do all, say all, and know everything. So system is essential in something like this that'll help you have success. That's a faster road to success. There's a little acronym to that, but I can't even think about it right now. System. Something that helps you save time, energy, and money. Anyway, so there's also marketing material where you can actually, there's envelopes that we can put your sample patches in if you want to share it to, send it out to people. Has a little quick recap of what the X39 does. And talks about a little brief, the highlights of what the X39, and you can send these out to different people if they live out of your, your drivable region. And then you can plug them into Zoom presentations in there. So, and then I just talked about the system having something in place. It's a patch revisit pro system, patch revisit and opportunity. You expose the X39 to people. You follow up. The key is in the follow-up. I can tell you stories about people who shared the information but never followed up, and they ended up getting started with somebody else. So the key is, when you share it with somebody, make sure you're following up with them as well, and then point them to the opportunity, like a Zoom like this. There's multiple Zooms going on throughout the week that you can plug them into. And there's different presenters, so there may be a certain personality or somebody that gels with your style, or whatever. But there's a lot of different leaders that are doing presentations throughout the country on a daily basis that we can actually plug into. So the time is to make a move. Are you serious about changing your health and wellness? Are you serious about bringing those dream goals and aspirations about? This is something, like I said, it's ahead of the health and wellness curve. It's ahead of the regenerative wellness market. Majority of the people have no idea what the X39 is, and they've never heard of a way to activate their stem cells by a non-invasive method, and that's affordable, effective, and safe. And so we have something that no one else has. Again, give it time, everybody's going to hear about it, but it's just a matter of you have an opportunity now to be in the front of that wave, to get yourself positioned with the company to start helping your health, overall health and wellness, and joining the team and being part of the movement that's happening in years to come. It's kind of like, I'm not a surfer, but I know enough about waves, and I used to be a professional jet skier, so I know about, catching and missing waves and riding waves. But anyway, if you think about the ocean, you see a wave coming, it's going to be a big one. You don't wait till the wave to get there to start swimming because you've missed it. You have to start getting wet and start swimming to ride the wave that's happening. And this is what's happening. It's caught traction. X39 has caught traction. We're on the move, obviously, because we're number one momentum. But the thing is, we have to start swimming now. We have to get up and going and start sharing it, because if we don't, someone else will. And so the thing is get yourself locked in, get positioned to where you can make a big impact for your family and for years to come.